Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of knowledge sharing. So this has been Blanchard with HER Realtors. As always for the last couple weeks, I've been working through talking with home buyers here in the Columbus area. This another video installment. This is third week rather. So past couple weeks we've talked about getting yourself financed, getting yourself ready to buy, getting that credit in check, figuring out who your realtor should be. So today, natural progression, we're going to be talking about finding the right property for yourself. So there are a lot of options out there, and we'll talk kind of a couple things that you should really be thinking about when you're getting yourself prepared to go on the market. So as always, feel free to jump in with questions. I'm getting started a little bit later than usual, but I'm trying to keep this within about 10-minute videos. So again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. But with that being said, so to jump right into it, there's, again, a lot of things to think about when you're looking into the market. So today in Columbus, and again, this is rather general just because Columbus is obviously a very large area, homes don't last long. So again, this is absolutely a seller's market that we're in. Usually we're seeing things, on average, somewhere around the 30-day mark is kind of when homes are being sold. Some quicker, some longer, so it just kind of depends. Again, that's a pretty general kind of term just because, again, things can get pretty specific to certain areas. So, areas that are really hot, UA, Upper Arlington, tends to go really, really fast. Some of the more North Columbus neighborhoods tend to really go quickly. That is an area that I specialize in, so I tend to kind of look into some of those specific markets. So talking to your realtor about the current market conditions is very, very important because they tend to be very localized. With that being said, though, the other great thing that you need to be doing, so if you're buying with a spouse or if you're buying with some other individual or whatever it may be, whatever your current situation is, definitely think through what are those must-haves. I always talk about creating your wish list. Thinking about, maybe it's a list of 10, 15 things that you think are pretty important. Kind of break those down into your must-haves. What's something that would be a nice to have? What's something that would be totally disqualifying the property? But just think about that wish list. What's most important to you for a property? Obviously, maybe you want a basement, or maybe you are requiring that there's a backyard. Maybe you definitely want a 2-car garage. Those kinds of things are obviously going to be things that we need to be able to look into. A lot of times I, just having my recruiting background, always talk about essentially, again, just thinking about what is a disqualifier, something that I can put into those quote-unquote basic qualifications to make sure that the initial homes that we're finding for you are at least meeting those base requirements. So always something to think about. But even getting into a little bit more specific, some other pieces to think about too are, does this home belong to a homeowners association? Is there going to be a fee involved? What kind of sewer is involved? How am I going to be paying those types of things? Think about the taxes involved, the utilities that you have to work through. So those are all things that you need to look into as well. That's something that your realtor should always be able to share with you, but also that is typically public record, so you can absolutely find that information as well. But the MLS, which is the multiple listing service, is usually where a realtor is going to be doing their searches, and that's absolutely something that I'd be able to share with you or any other realtor would be able to share with you, so you can have some detailed knowledge of those taxes, utility costs, what's going to be covered, things along those lines. So otherwise, though, again, it really just comes down to what areas do you want to live in, what is that wish list, what specific things are you going to be looking for in a home, and let's find that perfect match. That's really what it comes down to in the long run. So otherwise, that's really all I wanted to cover today. Again, pretty quick video again this week. Next week's video is going to be talking a little bit more about the financing side. So I'm hoping to get this, do this home buyer series once again in person, actually, probably more towards springtime. And at that point, will invite in some mortgage officers of mine who I do hold relationships with. And again, we'll absolutely be able to talk in more detail. That's something, again, that I would hope to be in person. That way we can actually provide some materials and talk in a lot more depth about financing. But next week's, we will go into some detail about financing the property, a little bit more about mortgage loans. So hope to hear you guys tune in. Again, I did want to obviously share once again, everything that I covered today is once again covered in my home buyer series package. So this is the ultimate home buyer's guide to the Columbus market. I call it that because, again, step-by-step covered. So you'll see in here some of the information that we talked about, walking you through, not spending a penny when you're walking through the home buying process, talking about making that wish list. So a lot of great information is in here. Again, this is free information that I offer, so if you're interested, feel free to reach out. I can email this to you or drop it off to you personally. Otherwise, again, hope to hear from you guys. Feel free to reach out if you have questions. Phone number for me is 740-504-6369. Email address ben.blanchard@HRRealtors. Otherwise, don't wait to get out there. It's a great time to be buying. Again, I know it's a seller's market, but there are a lot of options out there still. So if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about how I can help you with your home buying process, reach out. I'm ready to assist. So thanks again. Hear from you next week. Bye.